All right, man. On this one, I'm gonna bring JD on here to talk a little bit about gambling in prison. It's a big no-no, man. Everybody knows that. If you don't know that, when you go to prison, it's a big no-no. All right, what's up, everybody? I got JD with us for this subject because, hey, I thought it was right to have him on here. Everybody knows this guy right here, man. Was behind the wall with me, standing on his 10 toes. We got a lot of stories together. But this certain subject, gambling, is really important aspect inside of prison. When I say gambling, I'm not talking about cards. Yeah, people gamble on every card game possible. Dominoes, slamming the things. I can't stand that noise. I never have. People bet on fighter fights. People bet on baseball games, hockey games, college football games, Olympics. People have homemade lottery tickets inside prison. People have every square boards. People have any possible thing you can think of. People are doing inside a prison. Okay. The majority of my bid, I was not a gambler. I'd never been a really good card player except drunk playing spades in my teenage years. I never like to go with my bros because I always get yelled at. I can't count cards. I'm not a good card player. I don't like the politics of cheating, and it happens all the time. And I couldn't stand football inside of prison because everybody inside of prison watching football can tell you how many yards the guy has, how many passing yards, his completion rating, his interception to touchdown ratio, but he can't take his dumb ass down to the library and file a motion to get his time knocked off. And everybody's an analyst. So it would get me annoyed. But most of my time, I never gambled. There was a time when I linked up with JD because JD was a beast. I've seen him literally hit ticket after ticket after ticket. And I'm like, hey, man, how do I get on this free money? And he used to run a ticket. This is something I would never do by myself or with anybody else but JD. So I started to do running a ticket with him. He was trying to teach me. So confusing. He was the brains of that operation. And I had to help him run the tickets. But this is one of his hustles. It was something, not even thinking of it. We're just living life every day in prison, but we could have gotten ourselves into some serious stuff because you stay away from gambling. But I'm gonna give the mic over to JD, let him talk about it, and we're gonna talk about a story about it. Go ahead. What's up? Yeah.
But gambling, I would say stay away from it because if you're not willing to fight, if you win, a lot of people will try to cheat you out of it. If they think you're not going to stand up for it, like you can have a ticket that hits, and if unless they're super stand up, they're not going to pay you. That's the way it works. If they don't think you would fight for it, or you're not in a gang, or you don't have people that have your back, they're going to try to buck you on your payment. That's part of the gambling thing. You gamble, well, you hit. That's a small chance you hit. Then there's an even smaller chance they pay you if you did. So I would say stay away from gambling at all. Even the poker table, like you have to have some stand-up dudes at the poker table in general. And I love playing poker, but you got to be careful who you do anything with. Any type of gambling, any type of deals, you just got to know who you're dealing with, or it's COD.
Absolutely. How many fights would you say in prison on all your time you did, would you say strictly came from the card? You could be sitting in the dorm just chilling, and then people are on that wall.
At least once a month. At least once a month, no matter what dorm you're in. There's something over gambling. Like I said, the whole thing with the goddamn shorts it all started with gambling and taking their money back from Kyle.
Yeah. Yeah.
And then we got a race war over it. Fucking 2 months later. It's like it all starts because someone is soft at the beginning, and then they're like, "Oh, we'll try him again. Oh, these dudes are tough. Oh, they back him. Oh, let's try him and see what they'll do."
Dude, the level of masterminding of cheating that can go into those card games, whether it's fringe cards, whether it's
they'll do little nicks in the corners of cards so they know when the aces are coming up. Like once they get an ace, they'll kind of just bend it just slightly or just a little bit. And things like that, man. I'm telling you, it's insane. It's just stay away from it. That's just what I can say. Stay away from if you go to prison, stay away from two things that I can think of right now: gambling and gays. That's it. Stay away from them.
One thing I couldn't stand on when about cards, even though I didn't play a lot of cards and gamble, is like I felt like people. Me and you talked about this when we were in. When I would be, let's just use spades for example. It's four people. I felt like the dude on the other guys on the other team when they're slapping the cards and they're talking reckless and they're talking sideways. I feel like it's like like it's disrespect. Like it's a card game, but they're like, fuck yeah, fuck yeah. Like you would never say that in any other circumstance.
No, it's just cards. It's just like in sports. Like, oh, I was just talking shit. It was just in the game. The game's over. It's weird, but you're right. When you play cards and you gamble and stuff like that, people will be selling out. And it's like, do they really feel that way? Again, prison's all a mind thought. Like literally the whole time you're like, man, is this dude trying me? Or is this dude just caught up in the moment? Do other people think he's trying me? Like that's the whole thing with prison. It's so mental. If you're not mentally strong, you're gonna get literally one way or another.
You do have to think like that too. It's a different it's your mental state is absolutely different. It's like you're in it's go time. Like at all times you have to be alert and ready to go, and you have to double think things. You know what I mean?
Yeah. You double, triple, quadruple think things, but then you got to be like, hold on, am I overthinking this shit? And even in my life today, I'm like, well, what does my wife really mean? Like, I'm like, get out of that. Like, stop thinking like that. You know what I mean? Like, it's tough. It's tough to break sometimes, but like you're trained into like constantly, like I did a lot of times. So it's like I'm constantly trying to battle my own mind on things, so it's like that. But back to the football. So I ran a lot of tickets. I ran a pool, which was like a 15-team list with spreads. Anybody who does anything without spreads, I hate. It's stupid.
You did
I like spreads.
You did a college ticket and a NFL ticket. And just to let the people know, JD used to get all types of magazines in, all types of stuff to help him run this pool. Like he took it like legit serious. Like he would study for this, like, and he would hit a lot. He would hit his own pool a lot, and other people's pools.
And that's what people would get pissed.
Yeah.
Something and I always, if I'm gonna run something, I got 30 people, $5 a piece. First place pays out most, second place pays like double your money back, third place gets your money back, so you can play next week for free. That's the way I did it. The biggest I got was at Bay, because I was spread out through the whole compound, and it had like 18 dorms. You know what I mean? And that's hard to move money at Bay CI, North Bay. Like it's all interior. Like it's hard to move money. It's hard to do this, hard to do that. So it's almost like a drug ring sort of. You got certain people that help you out, but you don't make that much money unless you hit your own shit. But then when you hit your own shit, people are like, oh, you're cheating. But it's like, no, because you already hit. Like,
yeah.
You had my picks before the game started. You know what I mean?
You would take people would give me money on the yard, and I would run it back to you. And then the next yard or whenever I would see that same person, I would run them back a ticket that you drew up. And then you had a master log, correct?
Yes. Whoever runs it always has a master sheet. Well, I know there's different ways to run a master sheet, but they've always had to have a master sheet because they got to know. No offense, if you're running shit, you got to be sweating. Like honestly, I'd rather have a $10 ticket hit than a $150 ticket hit. So I'm sweating the $150 off the screen, which you can get fights over that. Why are you sweating my ticket? Why are you sweating my ticket off? And people who don't even gamble, like they get in fights because they like UCLA, UCLA. A Spanish dude called the team UCLA. Didn't know anything about football, but he wanted to be a part of it, and he called them UCLA. UCLA was UCLA. And I was like, did you just say that? Get out of the day room right now. Like, stop watching football. Stop pretending. UCLA. So
the pool, man. I remember vaguely. We talked about this right before we did this video. I remember vaguely. You actually reminded me of this story. It was we had ran the same ticket type pool for a lot, months and months. But there's a dude in there. He was my home team. I remember he gave me a couple items. I ran it back to you because I remember it was in the morning before all football started. The first yard, I ran him back a ticket, and then I want to say, if I remember this right, that he ran another ticket back to you, or at least tried to. What happened? What that situation? Because we almost went to war behind it.
This was like one of a few stories I've had when people always think there's always somebody trying to get over a couple bucks, $10, $15, whatever it is. Gambling, it's cheaper than like, when you say $5 when you gamble, it's like $10. It's like double sometimes. I don't know why, but that's just the way it is. I've never really figured that one out, but you just got to go with it. Just like a stamp is 25 cents. It might cost 50 cents, but it's 25 cents.
Yeah.
But same thing is, so what happened was this guy, like, and it bothers me because like I have a whole master sheet. I was very, very anal about making sure I wouldn't screw anybody over. Like I never wanted to be screwed over, and people have tried a couple times in the past, and I've had to go. I got paid in the end. It's like, but you have to put that pressure on them and stuff like that. When if you know you're right, you know you're right. That's why we had the video before. I'm like, when you know you're right, there is no compromise. You know what I mean? Like, oh, I know I hit. I know you didn't. I'll give you $5. No, you owe me 15. Like right. I hit, it's $15. It's not 5. Like, no, give me 15. Like, there's no. When you're right, you're right. Like that's why we've said this multiple times before between the two of us. When you're right, you're right. Don't try to make me less right. No, I'm right. Give me my shit.
And that's unnecessary, super unnecessary drama. And I mean, you have to go through it for something that is yours. It's uncalled for. But some dude,
right.
he tried to pull fast one on. Remember?
Right. The guy. So we got a ticket, and once that ball that they kick off, as soon as they kick off, no more. Dead. There's nothing else. Now you can have late tickets, but again, once that late game or ticket, once that first game.
Now on this day, what do you remember about this dude? Because he was my home team, I believe. I vaguely remember him.
He came up to me. He's like, "Hey, I hit. Here's my ticket." I'm like, "I don't. That's not my ticket." And he goes, "Yeah, it is." I was like, "No, that's not what I got. I don't got anything." I was like, "Who'd you give it to?" Whatever. And I don't, like I said, I can't remember the full details. Like I said, you're gambling every week and stuff like that. You got a lot of stuff to pay attention to. And I was like, "No, you didn't hit. I don't have, you didn't hit." So he ends up going to you. And I think it was dead. Like I just said, "You're not hit," and he walked away. So I'm like, okay, he's not even gonna argue with me. You know what I mean? So like that alone kind of told me I was right. I didn't make a mistake. So and then you come up to me like, "Hey man, what's up with this guy?" This guy, we can't remember his name, but I was like, well, you're like, "Hey man, the dude says he hit. Like, here's his ticket." I'm like, "Man, that ticket's not good." You're like, "What do you mean?" I'm like, "I don't know where that ticket came from. I don't know when it got turned in or who did it. Like, I don't know. Like, I can't. There's no way that's a good ticket. I didn't get it." And and you were confused because you're like, "What do you mean?" Like, I'm like, I all I can say, it's no good. It's not a good ticket. I'm not paying that. We're not paying that. And you're like, you kind of went back and you're like, you were going back and forth. You're kind of talking to him, trying to talk to me. You're trying to figure out things, and you're like, and then you came to me like, "Dude, it's $10. $10 gambling, which is like $5." I was like, "Yeah, not really the point, Matt."
Yeah, I didn't know. I think he pulled me to the side,
and you even said, "You're like, I don't know about this." I said, "Well, I'm telling you right now, he doesn't get paid. Like,
yeah,
that's what it is." And you're like, "Well," he's like, "If you're gonna stick by that, then whatever." Like you said, it was back and forth, back and forth. Then he was starting to click up with his people because they were getting upset. Like I said, it was $10, and I don't know if they were going to go to war over it, which they might. I mean, who knows? I
don't remember if he was affiliated or what, but he just.
I don't know. Like I said, this is somebody like this is actually one of the minor gambling incidents I've had, because the biggest thing, the reason why I remember this so much is because me and you almost went through or we didn't go through it. people thought we were like, I don't know, like being divided. You know what I mean? Like,
Yeah.
saw like a wedge between me and you.
Yeah.
Because me and you are loud. I'm loud. I know I'm loud, and I know you're loud. So like when we are talking, even if we're loud or like aggressive, because we're alphas, you know, we're leaders. You know, we're not someone who just, we're not a sheep. You know, so when me and you are talking, sometimes people think like it's arguing or it's fighting, like verbally. And me and you never thought anything of it. Anyways, me and you were like, I'm like telling you, we ain't paying that dude. You're like, dude, let's just pay him the dude $10. You're like, it's not a fucking big deal. Like, dude, we made $200.
Yeah, that's.
And I'm like, it's not the point. I said, then the next fucking person is going to try to do the same fucking thing. Like, we can't do that. That's the bad thing to start. So we're arguing about, is it worth $10 over the 200 we made or 300 we made, whatever it was that week. And I'm just like, no, I'm not doing it. And I've been doing the gambling thing for a lot longer than you were, because like you said, you stayed out of it. And and you, it was your home team, and you were kind of understanding where he was coming from, because like you said, you didn't gamble very much. So
I was lost. I was lost on the ticket. I think what he did, man, thinking back and just recapping on this, I think he may have he pulled a fast one, maybe switched it or created a ticket. He probably almost hit or something and switched a couple teams around. I don't know what he did, but he tried. The way that he explained it to me, because I was running tickets to people, I remember getting his money to get it back. He was like, "Man, I hit." I looked at his ticket, and because I always made like a couple free tickets or whatever off it, and I had mine in my hand looking at it, and I saw that he did hit, but he didn't really hit. And you had the master. He just pulled a quick one on me. I'm new to the gambling thing, and yeah, he think he was my home team. I'm not sure, but
yeah, I think he was, because he kept coming to you. Because once the first guy, he came to me first, but then he stopped coming to me. Once I told him, no, that ticket, I don't know how that ticket, how you have that ticket and you're trying to say it's good, because it's not. Like, it's not good. Like, I never got that ticket. You know what I mean? And,
yeah.
And I've had that happen where I've done a ticket to a writer, because every dorm has a writer for certain people who run things in the dorm. And this is one of the issues I've had. I've hit, and then the writer never turned it into the to the guy. Now this isn't this scenario, but this is the scenario when I was at
yeah.
I got in the crazy fight I got in over there. And it was the guy who snitched on me in the ultimate end, which is funny. Everything's tied together. This guy, he gave my name because I made him pay me the $30 he owed me for a ticket. The writer never turned that ticket in to the guy who's paying, you know, the guy who runs the whole thing, you know, because every writer gets a certain cut, like, I don't know, 10%. Like if they bring in $100, they get $10, but they got to give $90 to the guy who runs the thing. You know what I mean? And they keep $10 in their bank. Well, writers are like, oh, this guy can't hit, so I'm just going to keep the $10 instead of give 9 over. I'm going to keep 10, and I hope to God he doesn't hit. You know what I mean?
Yeah.
If he hits, then I got to pay $100. You get what I'm saying? That's a scenario that happens a lot. Is you got writers that are like, oh, this guy will never hit. He put a $10 ticket in. He ain't gonna hit. I'm not even gonna turn that in. But then it hits, and they're like, oh, the guy's not gonna pay you. I don't have $100 to give you. And then that's where beef starts.
Did you ever skin? Did you ever play the game Skin?
Did what?
Skin for chicken. Skinning for a chicken dinner. The Skin where you I think you pull one card. I don't know. I used to watch it, but there's a lot of cheating in that game. You ever play Skinning?
No.
Skinning?
I didn't do stupid stuff.
Skinning. It's a gambling game. You know what, dude? You know what? I want to touch on right quick before we end this one, bro. People don't realize you were a beast at Pinochle. Didn't you win a trophy?
Pinochle?
Yeah.
Pinochle. I'm very good at Pinochle because I can count. I can remember almost everything. The thing is, I hated Pinochle. I only did it because that's the only thing you guys know in the South. My game is euchre.
Pinochle? No, in prison.
Anybody above the Mason-Dixon knows about euchre.
Dude,
that's
people play Pinochle in prison. I could never understand that game.
Pinochle. That's what most people play. They play double-deck Pinochle in prison in Florida.
Then you, when you were at South Bay, didn't you win something about Pinochle?
I was never South Bay, North Bay. No, but I was a beast. I always won money on Pinochle.
Pinochle. I remember Pinochle. It just came to my mind for some reason. But a lot of
People cheat in that game. It's ridiculous. Like the cheating in cards is just so ridiculous.
It is ridiculous.
For $1. Anything for a fucking $1. They're like whores.
It is
They'll
ridiculous.
Do anything for $1. They'll do anything for $1.
Yeah, even on square boards, man. I would like so many people run square boards. Literally, I mean, you get sick of playing square boards because you know, people will cheat on square boards, erase your name, put it somewhere else, or like I didn't gamble, but if there was like a dude that didn't get money and he was running like a house square board. Yeah, I'd play a soup. I'd do a soup square or whatever, but that would aggravate me too because I'd be workout done. There'd be no beef. We're not going through any riots. We're just chilling. It's like really relaxing time. I'm on my bunk, got the headphones on. Then I have to be present for the freaking the cards that get pulled for the squares. Yeah. If I wasn't present for that, even if it was like a 50 squares for a soup, it's just like you said, mental. You have to be there. Like I'm just not gonna. No one's getting over on me. Like it's just like you're almost just giving the dude the soup because you know.
Because if you don't, they're like, you're a crab, man. You're a crab. Crab. I know you did a video on crabs.
Lobster.
People thought I was a crab in some cases because I didn't care about you if I wasn't with you. Like. You could starve to death. Me and anybody I'm cool with ain't gonna starve. I don't care if you starve.